Hi, I'm Laura, and welcome back to the Tarot Genie, where you receive intuitive answers from the tarot to your burning questions about business, career, creativity, entrepreneurship, personal development, politics, and more. For this week's motivational, inspirational reading, the question of the tarot that we're going to ask is, how do you empower yourself during a crisis? How do you empower yourself during a crisis? Right now, we are experiencing, for me, it seems the most major crisis of my lifetime, this COVID-19, this pandemic, because even though I recall as a little girl when I was in elementary school, we used to have drills to imagine, to prepare for the possibility of a nuclear attack. That was in the early 60s, and I can't even remember exactly what we did, but I do remember the little bells or sirens going off, and we'd have to do some kind of drill, and it did feel a little bit scary at the time. And then there was the Cuban Missile Crisis at the time, and that seemed scary, but it didn't affect, well, of course I was only a child, so I had much more limited awareness, but to my knowledge at the time, it wasn't affecting day-to-day life in terms of how you operate that we're experiencing right now. So I thought it would be useful to ask the tarot to get some insights on how to stay empowered during a period of crisis, because it's really easy to get into fear. I've been there, been struggling with it from time to time. I feel a little bit better right now, but at times I will get into fear because you just watch a little bit of the news and you just see some of the really sad stories, and then also the fact that people can have COVID-19 and not be aware of it. I mean, I could have it possibly and not be aware of it, and you could be spreading it, or they could be spreading it to you. That's kind of the scary thing. As a friend said last week, one thing I've been having is virtual happy hours with some of my friends, including college friends. And one thing that one of my friends mentioned was, she said, it means worse than war, because it's like having an invisible enemy. You just don't know where that enemy is lurking. So that's the challenge. And also this theme was prompted by a podcast I listened to this morning. And I think it was called How to Do Five Things to Do During COVID-19. And it's created by Jim Kwik. That's Jim Kwik, Kwik. I'm not sure if that's his real name ultimately, but it might be. But this man has some wonderful podcasts, videos, etc. He was challenged as a child. I think he had a brain injury, so he had a learning disability for some time, had problems with his memory, but he has become like the expert on remembering names, on any type of program related to speed reading and also learning quickly, etc. And he has a new book. I have not bought it yet, but I am going to buy it and read it. It's called Limitless. Limitless by Jim Kwik. And he goes into a lot of things on neuroscience, etc. So I recommend you check that book out. I can't recommend it as saying that it's good or not, but I'm pretty sure he really has a lot of valuable information. So I would recommend checking out his podcast. I think it's called Kwik Brain, Kwik Brain. So look into that. The song for today, for this week's reading, is yet another R.E.M. song that I came across. The video is just tremendous. I watched it a couple times today. It's an old song, Shiny Happy People, that R.E.M. did. I'm not sure what year. It was the 80s or early 90s. But if you watch the video, the dancing, the movement, the singing is just so uplifting, and it's really wonderful to see that it rather releases your stress. It did for me. I mean, it raised my vibration. As my spiritual coach, Carol DeRay, always talks about raising your vibration through music. That video is just excellent. I'm going to choose 3 cards. The 3 cards are going to represent mentally what you need to do to empower yourself during a crisis, during this particular crisis, physically, and then spiritually. All right, let's see. I think I got the 3 cards here. So face down. Oh, but before I did that, I should have shared the significator card is the Magician, because the Magician represents a powerful individual in the positive sense. The Magician is someone who's able to join heaven with earth. This card's often called associated with the phrase as above, so below. He connects heaven with earth. And he also has all the tools, all the elements of the tarot. He's got the coins, material realm, the cups, the feeling area, the swords, the mental area, and the wands, the area of passion and purpose. So the Magician is a significator card for this reading. So keep that in mind. So the first card represents mentally what needs to be, what is recommended for empowering yourself during a crisis. And here we have the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups has kind of been popping up for me several times this week in different readings, personal readings I've done. And what the Queen of Cups is suggesting is that you take the attitude that you need to, I would say, to empower yourself during a crisis. Look into an area mentally, but make a mental note of tapping into your feeling, into a source of love, because cups also relate to feelings and also, for me, love. And what we see also in this image is a sense of flowing. Look at some areas in which you can start flowing in terms of, in a heartfelt way and how you approach things. Look for ways and that's, I think Jim Kwik mentions that in this particular podcast. He talks about contributing to others, helping others when you're in a crisis, because when you do that, it really does uplift you. Gets you away from the sense of stress, etc., when you focus outwardly on helping other people. So that's what first comes to mind. Let me see anything else. This flow. I mean, she's very focused on the area of feeling. So that's what's coming to my mind in reference to this question is, look into where you can, mentally take the mindset of feeling more deeply in terms of your interactions, perhaps with others, and then just overall in your life. And also what's coming to mind, since I just talked about high vibration, is look for ways mentally how you can raise your vibration and how you can really feel from the heart, more empowering your heart. That's what's coming to mind. The next card represents a position of physically what can be done. Here we have another Cups card, the Two of Cups reversed. And when upright, the Two of Cups represents, usually it can represent a variety of things related to feelings. It could be a relationship, a man and a male and a female, or it doesn't have to be male, female, but two individuals with masculine and feminine energy coming together in a heartfelt way in a relationship, in a love relationship. Or it could represent teamwork of some kind, but it represents a partnership. Now, what I think, since I asked physically what you can do to empower yourself during a crisis, I think it's suggesting to look inwardly, maybe to spend some time meditating, to unify your own inner male and inner female energy, because you need to have that balance to be able to withstand a crisis. You don't want to just have all male and logical energy. You want to also have the flow of feminine energy, the right brain energy, the left brain and the right brain. That's what the male and female energy represent to me. So I think what it's saying physically, look for ways, there can be some practices you can do. It could be meditation, it could be possibly yoga. I practice yoga, and that's a good way of harmonizing your body, and it brings together it brings about a balance in your body. So this is suggesting to me that physically look for ways, especially kind of turn within, tune into ways you can balance yourself and harmonize yourself to get out of the stress. And it's interesting the cups came out twice, and that sense of feeling helps to counterbalance, offset the stress that can happen during a crisis. And finally, spiritually, I love, always love the Ace of Wands. And spiritually, this is suggesting to me the Ace of Wands, which represents an opportunity, especially one related to passion and purpose, coming out of the ethers, a divine passion and purpose, or passion and purpose that's being handed to you by the divine. Look for that. Look for something that will really stir your soul. And I know that when I was listening to Jim Kwik this morning on his podcast, he was recommending this time where we're all cocooning, we're keeping our social distance. It's a great time to nurture a new passion, whether it's learning a musical instrument, learning a new foreign language. People have more time. In fact, one of my other friends on the virtual happy hour last Tuesday, my college friend, she was saying how since she's teleworking now, she has more time because she's not commuting to explore a variety of interests that she has, hobbies, more time for some of those activities that she hadn't gotten to yet. So spiritually, this is suggesting, yes, look for something new, a new passion or purpose that will, by doing so, it's going to empower you. Even though we have to go on and we still have to cocoon and we still have to be mindful, but look for that passion or purpose that will just feel right to you, that will feel like it's handed to you by the universe. And I heard today, I think it was also in Jim Kwik, and I saw it elsewhere, that Shakespeare wrote some of his best plays, Macbeth, I think, and King Lear. Different opinions of which ones, but those were two I heard, during the plague of 1606, where part of London, or maybe London, was shut down for some time. The Globe Theatre, where he performed, had his plays performed, was shut down for a while because of the plague. So we have to turn whatever that old jaded term, turn lemons into lemonade. But yes, look for ways that you can tune into a new passion or purpose. Apparently Shakespeare, that motivated him while he was in solitude, or at least quarantine. He came up with these new plays that still have with us today. In conclusion, how to empower yourself mentally, just look for ways, make a mental commitment to exercise like your heart muscle, to exercise, feeling your feelings more fully, to make that mental commitment and to flow with something that allows you to, flow of feelings, flow of energy. And then physically look for some practices, whether it's meditation, yoga, that can help you create kind of this inner balance between your left brain and your right brain, your male energy, your female energy. That's important to stay strong and to stay like a willow tree that can bend with the wind. It can move, it doesn't break because it's got this kind of flexibility. It's got a balance. And then finally, spiritually, look for a new passion or purpose that, something new to you, that's brand new to you, that you just can get all fired up about. Wands represent fire energy, and that will help you to empower yourself during this crisis. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you've not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you enjoyed this reading. And I do offer private readings. You can find information about that at my website, thetarotgenie.com. And just remember, until next time, illumine your mind, inspire your life with the tarot.